recently. I had a great-grandmother who was blind but could see spirits, and so I have stuff in my family of either.
I don't know, just figure it out. And so like it took me all this time, and then I saw Lionel Richie coming. I was like, I saw an empty seat next to me, and I was like, please don't make this man sit next to this stupid.
I know all the fighters and their backstories, and I've been into it for a few years now. He likes it, but I'm definitely the one that's...
Is love enough to survive betrayal? Hollywood's favorite twin flames, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, seemed inseparable, bonded by passion, mystery, and a touch of chaos. But behind the cryptic Instagram captions and red carpet kisses lies a story far darker than anyone imagined. As rumors of infidelity swirl, one question dominates every headline. Did MGK really betray Megan at the most vulnerable moment of her life? Let's unravel the truth behind the scandal that shattered their cosmic bond and shook the world. It all started like a scene from a Hollywood screenplay. Two stars from different worlds crossing paths and colliding in ways that felt destined. Megan Fox, fresh from a decade-long marriage, was redefining her identity when she met Colson Baker, better known as Machine Gun Kelly, on the set of Midnight in the Switchgrass. To the public, their connection seemed instant, magnetic, and unapologetically raw. Megan described MGK as her twin flame, someone who mirrored her soul in ways she'd never experienced before. Their chemistry felt electric, but their differences were just as stark. She was the quiet yet bold actress who had spent years battling Hollywood stereotypes, while he was the rebellious rocker with a history of public feuds and emotional outbursts. Despite the contrasts, their late-night outings, matching tattoos, and poetic declarations of love left fans captivated. What started as a professional encounter quickly became one of the most talked-about romances in Hollywood, but beneath the whirlwind romance lay the seeds of a dynamic that would later spark heartbreak in headlines. From the moment their romance became public, Megan Fox and MGK didn't just date, they performed. Red carpets became their stage, with bold outfits, intense stares, and declarations of love that felt scripted for the spotlight. On social media, they called each other twin flames, sharing cryptic captions and poetry that blurred the line between love story and spectacle. Fans were captivated, especially when Megan revealed they drank a few drops of each other's blood as a symbolic ritual. Was it raw devotion or a publicity stunt? Regardless, their fame as a couple skyrocketed, with headlines amplifying their every move. Yet, with all the attention they courted, their love became a public obsession. Tabloids picked apart their every gesture, while some fans questioned whether their passion was sustainable. Beneath the grand displays and cosmic metaphors, cracks were already forming, hidden behind the bright lights of their public performance.
Can be a lot of different things and a lot of different people at any given moment, but he has a really pure soul and he can be very vulnerable, which is what I think you experienced that day, where there was a breakthrough where he wasn't behind his ego and he was just like, you know, I'm hurting today and I don't feel proud of myself today. And I think that's probably what really spoke to you, right, is that you got to see somebody not hiding from their failures.
Even in the early days of their romance, hints of turbulence began to surface. While their public appearances painted a picture of intense passion, those close to the couple noticed moments of instability beneath the glamour. MGK's unpredictable behavior, fueled by his rebellious persona, clashed with Megan's desire for peace and emotional security. The engagement itself raised eyebrows. The custom ring, designed with thorns to hurt if removed, was seen by some as romantic, but by others as a troubling metaphor. Megan insisted their love was raw and unconventional, but cracks were becoming harder to ignore. By the time fans noticed the couple's hot and cold public appearances, one moment inseparable, the next distant, the whispers of tension had turned into headlines. What had once felt magnetic now seemed fragile, setting the stage for the unraveling that was yet to come.
I don't know, just figure it out. And so like it took me all this time, and then I saw Lionel Richie coming. I was like, I saw an empty seat next to me, and I was like, please don't make this man sit next to this stupid. And he came over and he sat down and like, he like inspected it and touched it. Yeah, and then we were so close. I was scared to clap for Wayne Brady. So every time he made a joke, I just looked like I was unentertained.
What should have been a cozy Thanksgiving getaway in Vail, Colorado turned into the breaking point. With snowy peaks in the background and a festive table set, Megan hoped for a peaceful escape. But behind the scenes, suspicion brewed. Sources say she had noticed a change in MGK's demeanor. Little signs that something wasn't right. That weekend, Megan reportedly found incriminating messages on MGK's phone, messages that confirmed her worst fears. The serene holiday setting quickly dissolved into a tense confrontation. Witnesses described the scene as explosive, with Megan's voice trembling as she demanded answers and MGK scrambling to explain, insisting that nothing had crossed a physical line. For Megan, it wasn't just about the text, it was an emotional betrayal, especially as she carried their child and still grieved a past miscarriage. Instead of forgiving and moving on, she made it clear that this was the final straw. The Thanksgiving table was left untouched as Megan packed her things, determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. The perfect holiday had turned into a public spectacle, and the beginning of their most public unraveling yet.
I had a great-grandmother who was blind but could see spirits, and so I have stuff in in my family of either it's legitimate or people think that we are psychic. I think everyone has some sort of psychic ability. It's just about the brain being open and you're using your brain more than other people. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like, people always ask me to come on and do readings and stuff like that, and I'm not a professional.
The aftermath of the Thanksgiving blow-up spread like wildfire. As rumors of betrayal hit the tabloids, fans and media alike scrambled to piece together the truth. Social media buzzed with theories, dissecting Megan's cryptic posts and MGK's brooding song lyrics. Public opinion was split. Some sympathized with Megan, pointing out MGK's history of unpredictable behavior, while others insisted the story was exaggerated or part of their drama-fueled brand. Yet for Megan, this was no publicity stunt. Insiders revealed that she had reached her breaking point, especially with the weight of her pregnancy and past heartbreak. Despite MGK's attempts to spin the narrative with nostalgic posts and cryptic statements, Megan's silence spoke volumes. Her focus shifted to protecting her peace and her unborn child, leaving the public to wonder if this marked the definitive end of their chaotic love story.
With like ego death or all, whatever, you know, like what you said. But there's also the aspect which I learned, which is like, you can unlock, this is clearly how so many people, especially, you know, down there in South America, like that route for sure showed them.
While MGK turned to cryptic lyrics and public gestures, Megan took a different approach: silence. No explosive interviews, no dramatic social media rants, just quiet resilience. She liked a few supportive comments from fans and posted serene, unrelated photos that hinted at peace rather than pain. Her refusal to engage publicly only deepened the intrigue. Was she following legal advice, or was she simply done fueling the narrative? Either way, her silence left MGK struggling to control the story. Fans saw her calm as a sign of strength, proof that she was choosing her mental and emotional well-being over drama. Behind the scenes, reports suggested Megan was rebuilding her support system, exploring therapy and setting boundaries to protect herself and her unborn child. While the world speculated about a reconciliation or custody battle, Megan seemed focused on one thing: moving forward without letting the chaos define her.
I have this thing in my life where I just like run everyone away that loves me. And so Cameron loves me, and I have this thing where I was like, you can't love me too much because I'm gonna run you away. I'm gonna snap. And so I would always call Cameron, and he would always answer, and he would kind of just, you know, give me advice.
As the details of the Thanksgiving confrontation leaked, the tide of public opinion turned sharply against MGK. Fans and critics alike began scrutinizing his history of erratic behavior, impulsive decisions, and public feuds. Rumors about flirtatious texts and emotional betrayals only fueled the narrative that MGK had crossed a line, one that many felt he should never have approached, especially with Megan pregnant. Social media exploded with calls to protect Megan Fox, with fans praising her strength and condemning MGK's actions. Meanwhile, tabloids churned out stories of his alleged infidelities and careless antics. His past controversies, which had once bolstered his rebellious image, now painted him as unreliable and immature. Even MGK's attempts to win sympathy, cryptic posts, and nostalgic throwbacks fell flat with many who saw them as manipulative rather than sincere. For a man whose career thrived on chaos, this backlash threatened to dismantle the very brand he had built, leaving him grappling with the fallout of a love he may have taken for granted.
A lot by the people who either want to see you in one way or aren't used to seeing you or want to see you in another way.
Right.
So how does that affect your decision making?
I try to just do, mainly I'm just happy that I'm working and that I'm still working and I continue to get these opportunities, but I try to make choices that are different
As the details of the Thanksgiving confrontation leaked, the tide of public opinion turned sharply against MGK. Fans and critics alike began scrutinizing his history of erratic behavior, impulsive decisions, and public feuds. Rumors about flirtatious texts and emotional betrayals only fueled the narrative that MGK had crossed a line, one that many felt he should never have approached, especially with Megan pregnant. Social media exploded with calls to protect Megan Fox, with fans praising her strength and condemning MGK's actions.
I know all the fighters and their backstories, and I've been into it for a few years now. He likes it, but I'm definitely the one that's more obsessed with it. I was actually at the Conor Khabib fight a couple of years ago when all of that chaos happened and everyone had to run. We had to like escape when they started jumping the ring. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Meanwhile, tabloids churned out stories of his alleged infidelities and careless antics. His past controversies, which had once bolstered his rebellious image, now painted him as unreliable and immature. Even MGK's attempts to win sympathy, cryptic posts, and nostalgic throwbacks fell flat with many who saw them as manipulative rather than sincere. For a man whose career thrived on chaos, this backlash threatened to dismantle the very brand he had built, leaving him grappling with the fallout of a love he may have taken for granted.
Oh, mine was, well, I remember walking up, it was a circle of about 20 people, and you're in the forest or in the jungle, you're dieting, you're not eating past 5 p.m. or drinking water or anything, and I was the last person to go up and take it, and I remember watching everybody go up and take theirs. They had one cup, and they get to me, and the shaman says something to the translator, and the translator goes,
While Megan focused on rebuilding her life, MGK was left navigating the wreckage of their public fallout. His social media posts hinted at regret and heartbreak, with cryptic lyrics about loss and longing that many believed were directed at Megan. He canceled a string of appearances, citing personal reasons, and was spotted looking visibly distressed outside of a recording studio. Some fans interpreted his behavior as a sign of genuine remorse, hoping he was ready to change. Others saw it as performative, a calculated attempt to garner sympathy and paint himself as the victim. Rumors swirled that he even reached out to Megan's ex-husband Brian Austin Green, seeking advice, a move that, if true, only highlighted his desperation. But despite his efforts, Megan remained resolute. Insiders claimed she wasn't swayed by grand gestures or tearful pleas. For the first time in their on-again, off-again saga, MGK seemed to realize that the usual cycle of reconciliation might finally be broken. Whether he would truly face his inner demons or retreat further into his tormented persona remained unclear, but one thing was certain: Megan wasn't waiting around for him to figure it out. The love story that once captivated millions had unraveled in front of the world. What began as a whirlwind romance, fueled by passion and cosmic metaphors, ended in betrayal and heartbreak. But beneath the tabloid frenzy lies a deeper truth. Sometimes, walking away takes more strength than holding on. Megan Fox's silence wasn't weakness, it was resilience. By choosing peace over chaos, she rewrote the narrative of her life, proving that even the brightest flames can burn out if they're not built on trust. As for MGK, his next move may shape his legacy, but whether it's redemption or another chapter in his tragic persona remains to be seen. In the end, their story is a reminder that love, no matter how intense or poetic, must be grounded in respect and honesty. And when those foundations crumble, the bravest choice isn't trying to repair the ruins, it's knowing when to walk away and rebuild stronger. For Megan, this was never just an ending, it was the beginning of something new.